Hey, what's going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here to break down the 3-game NBA main slate on Monday. If this is your first time viewing, welcome to my channel. I do make content for Draftkings, for Prize Picks, and for NBA Top Shot. If you guys are looking for a more in-depth content for DFS, I do offer that on Patreon.com. We've had a very, very good NBA playoffs. I also cover the USFL. We had a few very big winners. Tommy, shout out. Tommy won over almost 1,000. He ended up going up. I think he finished winning 400 in this contest, but that's great to see. And again, NBA USFL esports package linked down below. The sponsor of this video is Prize Picks, which I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of. But if you have not, it is a player prop site, very, very fun, and there's a lot of different sports. You can mix and match sports. So if you guys want to give it a try, you can sign up, use my code DKDFS for a 100% match up to $100. Okay, so recapping last couple slates, on Saturday, I was all in on stacking that late game. That worked out pretty well. I had a core of Cat, who smashed, Ja, who was on pace to smash, got in massive foul trouble, still got there while losing big minutes. Vanderbilt smash and Brandon Clark smash. So that was solid. And then tonight, looking pretty good at the night slate. Outside of Bam, we got massive foul trouble, but Jimmy was only 50% owned. He went absolutely off. Gabe Vincent, surprisingly, half the field played him. But that's looking pretty good. My main slate, probably not going to get in the cash. I had a core of Aaron Gordon at low ownership, who was huge. 40 fantasy points for Gordon at about 15% ownership. Absolutely massive. Gabe Vincent was also in my core, along with Bobby Portis and CJ McCollum. So looking pretty good there. I went to a lower owned CP3 over Jimmy in the main slate. That's not looking great right now, but who knows? Maybe CP3 has a massive game in the second half. And Vucevic obviously was a little bit disappointing. He was popular. Blowout. I mean, Chicago, that's the Chicago Bulls I know and love, right? I was like, the first 2 games of the series, and they were very competitive with Milwaukee. I'm like, what's going on here? Then they go back home and it's completely lay an egg, right? Again, that is the Chicago that I know from the second half of the regular season. But that is it for the look back. So let's talk about this 3-gamer. Start off with Boston and Brooklyn. So they can close out Boston. Surprised. The Nets have really been struggling. I mean, the Nets should have had a very good chance to win Game 1 and Game 2. And KD was very lackluster in Game 3. Really surprised me in a do-or-die game. But on the Boston side, Tatum, Brown, they're both going to play huge minutes. Tatum obviously had the massive game last game. He played 45 minutes. Him and Brown are going to play like 40-plus minutes. And, again, they're rarely going to leave the court. So both make for decent options there at the top. Marcus Smart's a pretty safe play in the mid-range. We know we're getting out of him. Played 38 minutes last game, so pretty safe play. Robert Williams coming back, though, kind of mucks up the front court. Like, I don't know if I can get to an Al Horford who played 28 minutes. I mean, he's still playable, but with Rob Williams back, it does hurt. Obviously his minutes went down. Daniel Tice lost minutes, too, so all in all, I'm probably just going to stay away from the Boston front court. Derek White's really been losing minutes. One guy who's been playing more is Grant Williams because they need him on the defensive end. Back-to-back games with 32 minutes for Grant Williams. He's not super productive when he's in the court, but if we're going to get 30-ish minutes from him, I do think he's a pretty decent value play. Now, on the Brooklyn side, like I said, I was shocked how KD shot. In 46 minutes, he shot the ball 11 times. That is wild. Wild from KD. Looks like they're kind of just waving the white flag. I mean, I still think he's going to play the entire game. Played 46 minutes last game, so I don't know what to make of KD. Obviously, it's complete do or die, but I don't know. I feel like the Nets are kind of giving up in the series right now. But KD, Kyrie are still going to play huge minutes. Still have interest in both. Would lean Durant over Kyrie if had picked between the two. And then Bruce Brown just continues to go for 40-plus fantasy points every single game. I mean, he's played well. He has played well. He's been doing a good job, rebounding the ball as well. I have absolutely no issue paying 6.5 for him right now. Just he's playing massive minutes. He's one of their best defenders. The center position is going to be split between Drummond and Claxton. Now, Drummond probably only plays 15 to 20 minutes. At this price point, though, however, I do think he's playable. He can get it done. He can go for like 25 fantasy points in like 15 to 20 minutes. So I actually do have a little bit of interest in Drummond with the price point coming down. Claxton at 4.6 also has not really been closing games. Have been going small. So he's just kind of like a neutral play to me. Now, value-wise, Seth Curry should play over 30 minutes. He's been hovering around, low 30s minutes this entire series. I think a fair play, obviously, is score independent. Dragic, for some reason, barely played. They played Patty Mills a lot. I mean, in my opinion, I'd rather have Dragic out there than Patty Mills, but they also dusted off Blake Griffin and threw him out there. I mean, if you want to try to take a shot in Blake Griffin and hope he's in the rotation again, I guess fine large field tournaments, but below Seth Curry, it gets pretty risky targeting anyone on Brooklyn. Toronto and Philadelphia. So Van Fleet is the big news here. He's currently questionable with that hip. He did not return. If I had to guess, I would say he does not play. You also have Scottie Barnes that played pretty decent minutes, but was banged up. So he doesn't look like himself. He's really, fighting through that pain with his ankle. So if Van Fleet is out, I mean, you're going to see more minutes for these bench guys like Achua, Boucher, Thad Young. Thad Young, they went from basically getting DNPs to playing 30 minutes. He played very, very well, too. I was surprised that Thad Young was not in this playoff rotation, really. So we'll see if those minutes, I mean, who knows what to make of last game, but I do think Thad Young's earned himself more minutes in this rotation. I think they're kind of just going with the hot hand with Achua, Boucher, Thad Young. So a little bit hard to feel confident with any of those guys, but obviously there would be look a lot better if Van Fleet does not play. Siakam, if Van Fleet is out, I mean, he's going to play massive, massive minutes. Might play the entire game, so I think he makes a pretty safe play. OG just feels about right. Again, I'm probably staying away from Barnes. And then if there's no Van Fleet, I think Gary Trent looks really good. Played 39 minutes. He's going to play around 40 minutes. The only downside is he's score independent, but he's going to play massive, massive minutes. And like I said, if there is no Van Fleet, I think Achua, Boucher, Thad Young all look a little bit better. All relatively cheap, too. On the Philadelphia side, so Embiid, 10-2, fighting through that thumb injury. Toronto's done a pretty good job defensively on him. Right now, nothing more than a contrarian play. Hard to feel confident with Embiid at this point, but he'll be relatively low owned. James Harden, 9-2. I think you're going to feel a little bit better about him. He's playing massive minutes, probably get close to double-digit assist. So I think he's a pretty safe play, does have shooting guard eligibility. Tobias is basically playing the entire game, too. He's playing huge minutes. He's been doing a good job rebounding, double-digit rebounds now in the last 3 games. So I actually think he's a fair play. The mid-range does have, or does only have power forward eligibility, but still, he's playing huge minutes. Maxey has cooled off since the last couple games, but we know the ceiling is still there for him, so I'm kind of just neutral on Maxey. It is being played at home, so you do have Thibault back, so that does make the minutes riskier for Danny Green. He also did not shoot well, 2 of 10, and only played 28 minutes last game. So, the reason you're going to get to Danny Green if he's going to play around 40 minutes. But with the minutes last game, plus the Thibault now available, a little bit hard to feel confident there. Niang played relatively well off the bench. In a dart throw in large field tournaments, I think he's fine at close to min price. And finally, Utah and Dallas. So the Utah Jazz, Mitchell should play around 40 minutes. I think makes for a pretty safe play. We're getting out of Donovan Mitchell. Gobert has kind of struggled in the series, but should play 30 to 35 minutes. Relatively safe play there for Gobert. But Donovan should play huge minutes. 5'8" does feel a little bit too cheap. The only downside with him, though, is he's pretty score independent, but he's going to get a ton of shot attempts up and probably play about 40 minutes. So I like Bogdanovich there in the mid-range. Mike Conley, 5'4", did only play 24 minutes last game, did struggle, and Clarkson got hot, and they actually went to more Clarkson over Conley. So that was the first time really outside of foul trouble that you saw Clarkson kind of overtake Conley. And Clarkson played 36 minutes, 30 and 36 last couple games here for Clarkson. He did have some Bojan foul trouble here, but he just outplayed Conley in this game. So I think, both guards are in play with Conley and Clarkson. But neither you're going to feel amazing about. Royce O'Neal's 4K. Like I said, he's going to play big minutes. Most of the time, he's probably going to get you around 15 fancy points. Every once in a while, he can do this game, and he definitely has this floor in him too, even with playing huge minutes. Whiteside will play the backup 5. He'll play somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 15 minutes. I think he's playable because he's super, super productive when he's on the court. So, sure, I think he's fine at close to min price. And then finally on the Dallas side, so Luka Doncic at 10-6, I think makes for one of the better spin-ups. Played 34 minutes in his first game back. I think he's going to play all the minutes he can handle here, probably closer to that 40-minute mark. Very, very important game here. So I like Luka quite a bit, unless we hear news that they're going to kind of take him easy on his minutes, but I think he's going to be full go in this game. Brunson 7-2 is it's not completely out of play because he'll still play big minutes, but his usage obviously goes down with playing alongside Luka. Dinwiddie is out of play for me at 6'3". His minutes got slashed down to mid-20s, so can't pay that price point for him. What you're getting out of Dorian Finney-Smith and Reggie Bullock. I think they're both safe plays. They're both going to play the entire game. You saw 40 minutes from Dorian Finney-Smith and 45 or something from Reggie Bullock, 46. They're probably going to get you 25 fancy points. So I think they're both safe plays. Cleveland got in massive foul trouble again Fouled out in 18 minutes, but I think he could play more in this game. Obviously, he stays out of foul trouble, so he's in play, but more so for tournaments for me. Dwight Powell's 3-5, played a little bit more because of Kleba foul trouble, but I would assume his minutes go down and Kleba's minutes go up. But yeah, guys, so that's going to wrap it up for the video. Again, if you do enjoy the YouTube videos, just make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. All the good stuff does help me out a ton. But thanks again. Enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll see you all in the next video.